Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nay.
Hey everyone, welcome back once again to Trackside with Kokpit, brought to you by GARAGE16. Talking of looking impressive, man, check out that awesome drawing behind the man himself. Hey Books, how are you, mate?
Oh, I'm good, mate. Yeah, another beautiful drawing by Madu Goodley. We got, what do we got? I get the fingers in the right place. So there's Asher, 1NZ, and right behind me, if I lean that way, that was Peter E's 1NZ and his tank, his first tank, I think, his first 1NZ. So we had that drawing, and that's he's placed that at Miani with the things behind us and the garlic potatoes in the corner. So another cool drawing by Madu Goodley, Legaspeed Media Designs, who's also, point of interest, Kinser has now got his own display at GARAGE16 Art Studios. So that's a really cool thing for him as well.
Yeah, definitely, and that's our man Aaron Lewis down in Wellington there as well, doing his little bits. And talking to Aaron Ferguson, how did we know you're going to jump in tonight's show? How are you, mate? Wayne Otten, love the update, Wayne. 115 days till we get dirt in our hot chips and smell the fumes going around the tracks. Mate, good to have you back. It's been a while. Where you been, Scott Honeybone? Been a while. Richie Mason, Mike Harvey, Daniel Chalk, Shane and Karen Taylor, Bourbon Baz. How you going, Baz? Bring on the modifieds next year. Correct, Scott. Rest in peace to Russell Harris. It's been been a commentator, well known throughout the Speedway community. It's been all over the social media. Dwayne, how you going, Dwayne? Oh, Stiffy's in watching books. Stiffy, our friend, is watching. Yeah.
You see a lot more than me when it comes to that, but yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of updates lately of much of what's going on around the country come Speedway time, but I suppose in next weekend is the big annual Speedway New Zealand Awards and the remits part of it as well. I think tonight there's a couple of clubs having their final remit meetings for some reason, I think, but I thought that all had to be in, but I could be wrong on that, Kins. We did hear that. I thought that's what Lani and Zoe were telling us the other week, but maybe not. But yeah, it's going to be a big weekend next weekend, mate, and of course we're going to go and enjoy ourselves and get to see how it all happens, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the AGM is going to be a point of difference for us as a show here in Kokpit because we love to bring you everything around the tracks. We talk to promoters, we talk to obviously the drivers, and we do the build-up around events. But to be part of the AGM on the Friday and then again on the Saturday, then of course being one of many finalists, congratulations to each and one of you. It's a big night on Saturday up there in Monaco. We'll find us in a couple of categories. So, I'm excited as, mate, and can't wait. And, yeah, Scott Honeybone, hope everyone enjoyed the V8 Supercars over the weekend. The Kiwis doing all good up there in Darwin. Don't want to go check out the crocodiles, mate, the old saltwater crocs. They look bloody huge up there.
Yeah, there was it was a bit of a... It was an interesting first day of racing, but the second day it got a bit boring, to be fair. But
it did, eh?
Never mind. It was. I tuned in again, thinking, "Oh, that was an awesome bit of racing on the other day." But yeah, it got a bit. But that's okay. The Kiwi boys are still doing what they need to do and up there, and that's what we love to see. Our Kiwis in motorsport achieving all over the place. I mean, it's been great for us at the moment. You got. Gizzy in the finals for the NASCAR stuff. You've got Payne really going well, and Wood starting to really get there too. He just had a bit of bad luck, didn't he? Teams Champs tickets on sale now. I don't know about that. Are they, Kins? I don't think they're on sale yet, are they?
I've not seen. I haven't seen anything come up yet. Look, what's been out in regards to the big event in February, we all know it's the Palmy 10. So what's been popping up every on social media is the one where you click on if you're interested in going, or you change it to you're going. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing that's been released around ticket sales.
You might find that that's not even part of Palmy Speedway. There's a lot of those things that come out.
It's changing.
And yeah, so you got to be careful that you only click on stuff from their page, because what happens is, I believe these people put these links up, and you go and say, "Oh, yeah, I want to go to that," and when you do that, they suddenly get your information and stuff like that. So be very careful. You know, there's a lot of these fake links and stuff. Like we had some woman messaging everybody in the comments from our post the other day, asking them to message her some fake woman scam thing. So just be careful. Just remember that if you just block those people on our posts, I block them as soon as I see them. And just know that we here at Kokpit will never, ever put up a link for live videos anywhere. We might say the Pits Media, and everyone knows who that is now. But yeah, we won't put up links. So if you see a link in our posts, just never, ever click on them. Never.
No.
And I try to stop links being put up in our show all the time. So please don't post links in our show while we're talking either to things, because I'll just hide them or delete those links. So yeah, easy as that. We got to keep everybody safe, and if we allow no links, and that's what does it, isn't it? You know.
You're right. The only link that you really want to see on the Kokpit page is, I want you to subscribe. It's my OnlyFans link. All right. So that's all you need to look in. No, just joking.
It all is Kin sleeping.
But no, I can't remember what Bruce told us. It's definitely not Ticket Tech or Ticket Direct or Ticket Master.
It's changing, wasn't it? It was changing. So watch their page. It might have been that, Kins, actually. May have been Finder.
Yeah.
I think the best solution, mate, is just to watch the Palmy page. You know, you're all probably subscribed to it. You're all probably linked to it.
Yeah.
So that's the best way to make sure that you get the right information. And I'm sure as soon as we find out, we'll put up a post saying, hey, they're available. Go check out the Palmerston North page. We won't say, here's the link. So, yeah. So just be wary of that. There's a lot of fake stuff out there, people, and we need everybody to be safe, and we don't want your profiles getting hijacked and all the dodgy shit that goes on these days.
Yeah. So. Central Energy Trust Stadium. That's pretty well the best option to keep an eye on. That one keeps you up to date on everything. They're the ones that's going to promote, because they are the people that run the stadium. In that regards, they'll be promoting some of the biggest shows that comes to that facility down there. So just be safe, like Booker said as well. Look, Maury Goodley, always good to have you on the show. Tony McGrath, Pirapi Tamatia, Evening Tupi Nakorawiri, Samantha Kisse, Sam, how's work going? Happy birthday to Robbie Maybe today. Yeah, that's right. It's Robbie's birthday. He's 49 today. Oh, past Monday, sorry. Fireball, Terry Smith. Still got your car, mate? Or you still got it up for sale? The one in here is off to the world final in the UK. Yeah, that's right. Todd Hemingway, Scott Tennant's actually got a couple of passes to Palmy 10s as well. He's doing a giveaway. He's doing all sorts of things. He's got new merch out. And the other one is, who's the other one? There's Scott Tennant, Todd Hemingway, and Josh Prentice.
Yeah, I was going to say we had.
That's what it was.
It's hard, you forget all the names. You try to remember everything. It's hard, case. I see old Mr. Repco's watching. Mr. Repco's still waiting to hear about my bushes, mate.
What do you want a bush for, Books?
I want the bushes for my camper. Got to get a COF.
Okay. You're talking about that bush. All right. Nana Gale, how you, Nana? Caleb, how you going, young Caleb? Look forward to seeing you back on the racetrack. Event Finder. It is Event Finder, yeah. Anyway, still for sale. Oh, AMS. Talking of my OnlyFans page, we've got only AMS on watching. All right.
Very good.
We better bring it and get back and catch up with our track down there at, is it Fastlane Spears, Oceanview Speedway?
I believe it is, mate. I believe it is. There he is. Daryn, how are we?
Good, thank you, guys.
Did I get that right, mate?
Yep. Fastlane Spears, Oceanview Family Speedway.
I love the family speedway side of things, but you can't do it without a major sponsor that keeps the track going every season, speedway season, year in and year out, eh, mate?
Oh, definitely. They've stuck with us, so it's great. Rob and his team are awesome. So guys, give back to these guys that give to us, so we can all keep carrying on.
Let's go through that season then, Daryn. I know you joined us a little while back to promote what was coming up for what was an exciting season. Just overall, how did the season all pan out from your point of view and from the committee and everyone there that's like 100 volunteers? How was it overall?
Yeah, season's been good. Like, I suppose like a lot of tracks, you have your ups and downs, and obviously Mother Nature determines on if people are going to come and watch or not. So, if it's a cold, horrible day, you don't get bums on seats, but we've definitely had some real good meetings. Yeah. So hopefully that gives back to the people that are given to us, your sponsors, your drivers, your volunteers, everyone.
Let's talk about that, because June's pretty well covered around the country, and we can't do anything. It's not just only Speedway, but it's nearly every single event that every town has a volunteer has to offer him or herself to it. They're not volunteers just to that one particular whatever it is. They volunteer themselves to so many. They're the kind of people that don't say no. But just like your track, you can't do it without volunteers.
Definitely not. We've got people out there at the moment working, So some out there are getting paid, and others out there are doing it because they love the club and love the sport. Out there planting out banks and hammering nails and everything that sort of keeps it going, I guess, over the off season.
Yeah,
I see your new lights and everything. And the wall and that is people have been talking highly about that. You must be really proud in how successful that's been with that.
Oh, definitely. There's no excuse now. Yeah. You definitely know when it's a red light. Once the main straight's finished, the whole track will have lights around it. So, yeah, in theory, no excuse. The crowd can see what's going on as well. They just not thinking the referees or the cars are slowing down for no reason. They can physically see that we've gone red or orange or green for a particular reason. So I think with all that, it all helps.
Yeah.
So
everyone on the same page.
Yeah. Are you guys completing that right around the track in this off season?
Yeah, well, the main straights got ripped out, so we've done 3 pours so far. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, the wall will be finished. Then we can relay the track, paint the wall, and then hopefully get the 2 straights lights in, and so the whole track will be lit up.
Yeah. Do you think, Daryn, because what you've done and what you incorporated into this, it works for everyone that's associated, whether you're on the bankments, watching as a spectator, drivers, yourselves. Is this something that other tracks, I would guess, have you kind of set the tone to where possibly everyone could move in that direction if they've got the finance or the capability to make that happen? Because it sounds like it's justified and it's also a good attribute to Speedway.
Yeah, definitely. It's a no-brainer, really. But I suppose at the end of the day, you got to take your costs into account. But all our old traffic lights are starting to get too old, that they're hard to keep going. So the lights in the wall was an easy way around it, I guess. And no excuse for drivers, to know what's going on.
What do you think, Box? With what they've kind of incorporated their track, and it's a good thing. Must be a good thing going forward, I would guess.
I think it is. I mean, like at the end of the day, seeing the red lights come on is probably one. I mean, I'm not a driver. We're not a driver. It's probably a big thing to be able to see that red come on, and it's a safety issue, I suppose, as well. But I mean, and like say the crowd see it too, and there's no mistaking saying you didn't see the red light in any part of it when it goes right on your track inside the wall. So I suppose it puts it at eye level for them too, does it, Daryn? Does it make it like when you're in the car? I mean, I wouldn't know, like I say, I'm not a driver, but does that make it an eye level thing for them, does it?
Yeah, just easier probably to pick up than to try and look on a power pole or to look into the mesh, I guess. But it's, and like our track, because it's fully lit up in each corner, like you can sort of see it from, if you're looking into the corner or looking ahead to the next corner, you're going to see what's going on. Instead of turning up there on a red light and all of a sudden there's cars parked in front of you. Like you say, safety, big issue. You're not going to hopefully pile into someone because you don't see a standard red light. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose the other part of that too is some of these tracks around the country when they have a direct sunlight beaming straight at them as well. But if, sometimes you don't see the lights, like you say, the standard 3 lights on the side of the fence, sometimes some tracks don't do it. Some drivers will notice put duct tape over and they kind of try and prevent the inevitable, the incidents and health and safety side of things. But yeah, I think it's a good thing, You definitely need it. I know that much going into turn 1 and 2 of your track. Oh, it really does.
Hey, it looks cool. So yeah, but I mean, like every track's different, I suppose, and every wall's a different height and different sun strikes and different this. So I mean, to say, I mean, every track's so different. So I mean, that lights to me suits Wanganui, and they have been great initiative and have shown people it can work. But yeah, like I say, it must be at quite the cost, I would imagine. And if you want to help these clubs get these lights or do upgrades like that, well, the best thing to do is walk through the gate, put your bum on the seat, as we say, hey, get your backside trackside and support your club so these improvements can be made at every club.
Nope. You there, Darren?
Oh, is he frozen?
Oh, yeah.
All right, he's back.
He's back. You're back with us. Did you catch the tail end of that, Darren, what Booker was talking about?
Yeah, I got most of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you say, but bums on seats allows all us tracks to carry on making improvements. Without bums on seats, it's pretty hard to make improvements and to try and keep moving forward. And that's what we've tried to do as a little track, trying to move forward, I guess. So in theory, when I leave, no one should have to do any work to that for quite some time,
Yeah.
What then helps the club financially? It's done.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll briefly touch on volunteers. You can't do this thing. So, Darren, just in your perspective for some of these viewers that are watching and don't really comprehend, so when does the Speedway morning start for you on a Saturday? What time will you rock up to the track?
Depends on if I'm stuck in the water truck or not, if Mike's away. So, yeah, some Saturdays you can be there from 6 a.m. and you go home Sunday morning after prize giving. I've been probably a little bit spoiled this season. I've been probably getting there about 9 o'clock in the morning. So, gives you a little bit of grace. But yeah, it can be long days. You've got the office staff, they're out there for hours before. You got your lap scorers that are out there before. You got your water truck man. You got the scrutineers. Everyone's there a long time before. Like you say, racing starts at 6. We're all there lunchtime. Or 2 o'clock at the latest, most staff, to try and get things happening.
What's some of your highlights of the season just gone today? What's some of the ones that kind of stand out in memory and, you think as a crowd, they've enjoyed themselves and everyone's walked away happy, talking about it in their cars on the way home and, let's go back to the next track meeting, mate. What's some of those highlights you want to share?
Yeah, so we did round 1 of Super Stocks of Thunder, past Bay Park in Gisborne. That was a real good meeting. Unfortunately, the weather made it a bit of a hiccup, but it still ended up being a real good meeting. There was still a good crowd there watching. So that was something real good and positive and to try and build off. So I believe we're aiming to try and do that again this season. Opening night is always good because, everyone's itching to go. And like you say, you sit at home for months in the cold. And all you want to do is get there and get some dirt on your hot dog or your chips, like the previous man said. So, yeah. And then, of course, our meeting right at the end, we tried something different. Didn't quite go how we wanted to, but it still ended up being a great meeting, huge crowd. I think everyone walked away from there pretty happy. Yeah. So just things to work with and work on. Overall, the season has been really good.
Well, we note that, Books, every week, everyone really talks about Wanganui. No doubt there's the hashtag up the V everywhere, and especially when it gets to teams events, whether it's the Vulcans or the Warriors, you got a big fan base out there supporting both teams when they get out there as well. And they're very popular, Books, is what I'm kind of saying, because every time we do a show, straight away, they just jump into the comments.
Yeah, and I mean that's a support. They do tend to have more come on when they're on the show than most, as a rule of thumb. But I think it's just that this we've seen a progression of over the last few years of that club just really moving along quite nicely, and their support and their team has been progressively getting better and sticking together, and the club itself is moving forward in such a positive way. And I think we're all noticing it, and it's not hard to get excited and stand behind a club, any club, even if it's not your local club, to be excited about their progression and to turn up there and run a race. It's like I was talking to someone today, you know, like I'm excited about the upgrades at Waikaraka. It's like we're getting a whole new track, so I'm keen as to go there this season and have a look. And I'm also very keen to get back to Wanganui because it's been so bloody long since I've been there. And I really want to get back there. I was going to go there this year, but the rain to stop me for the meeting I was going to go back to. So it's a little bit disappointing, but I'm sure this season coming, I will find an event to get to and get over to Wanganui again because I used to go there all the time back in the day because I was a local man at Palmy, you know, and travelling to Wanganui was a quick hop, skip, and a jump, and it was good fun. So I want to get there too and put my backside trackside there and support that club this season if I can. You know, it's not hard to support a club when you see it in a positive light, you know. And in saying that though, we really should support all clubs, but it makes it a bit more exciting when you go to, you know, a club's doing something exciting, you know.
Pretty well sums it up what he said, Daryn? You know, the excitement that the club's brought to over the years with big celebrations of recently, the success of individual drivers in their own class can only grow the fan base, but in a positive way. But the support, you know, it's just been overwhelming.
Oh, definitely. All our car numbers have grown. And like you say, the amount of people you see walking around town just on a daily basis that have got some Speedway T-shirt or hat or cap, you know, on or a sticker on a car these days is crazy. What is good, you know? So obviously they are coming to watch. They are supporting teams and drivers and that sort of thing. So that is awesome, really.
Yeah, no, it is good. I know you've had your awards and everything like that as well. But for you personally, Daryn, I suppose this is a dumb question. Do you get a break really, or you just keep living Speedway in the off season?
There's still always something to do. It's probably not quite as time-consuming over the off-season, but saying that, I was there at lunchtime for a couple of hours and then there after work to try and keep things moving forward, I guess, with the contractors and bits and pieces. So there's always something to do. Your phone's always going. And then if I'm not doing that, I'm in the shed behind me trying to, you know, get a car ready. And, you know, it doesn't end.
Yeah. Oh, that's all good. You know, again, show your passion, the love that you have for it as well. So obviously you were saying just earlier on in the show, there's a couple of volunteers out there doing their little bit. Is there much further development that's happening in the off-season with the track or the facility overall?
Yeah, so like I said, we're finishing off the main straight. So the wall will be fully completed. There's more of an upgrade going on in the pits, like we retained one end. So we're now starting the second stage. So just trying to keep moving ahead because next season we've got the New Zealand Stock Car Champs in 26, 27. So we're trying to get things right for that, I guess. So, you know, things will flow better. And with that volume of cars that we've got coming to our small track and small pit area, it's trying to make it work better and easier, for the drivers, for the staff. And so the spectators can see the racing without having, you know, too big a gaps in between trying to get vehicles on and off the track. So you're just always upgrading, trying to keep ahead of the game, I guess, as much as we can. But at the end of the day, it all costs money and time, and you either got one or the other half the time. And Mother Nature, obviously, hiccups in this time of the year.
Yeah, winter can be one of those things, you know. Not all of us can go to Fiji, mate, and enjoy the sunny weather like some do at the moment. We'll talk about that a bit later. But you are right, you know, and there we go. The show, I tell you what's good about the show, we always bust out something that's a breaking news item. And for those who know that the New Zealand stock cars are down in Woodford Glen, you've just heard it there from Daryn, 26-27. It's in Wanganui. There we go. Mark it in the
I'm supposed
calendar.
to say that.
I don't know either. Well, now we all know. And our little trackside and Kokpit will, they all know now. So there you go. Maina Koroheke up the mighty V, Brody Goodley. G'day, mate. Alson Tiwani. Good club. Volunteers, a point of view. Yeah, you're right. Elvis Rollins, Jack Anderton, Larson Whitaker, Carl Carpendale. Just a few people watching, saying a bit of a shout out to. So obviously, what some of the big meetings that some of the fans can prepare themselves to come and check out at your track, mate, in the new season.
Okay, so we kick off on the 18th of October. So that's opening night, and then the following weekend is obviously long weekend. So we'll run the Sunday after. Normally Palmerston will open. And then we're trying to lock in the Super Stocks of Thunder for the 15th of November, all going well. And then the rest of the season calendar is sort of on hold until we see what else is cropping up around us with other championships and stuff. But aiming for 12 to 15 meetings. And then obviously at the end, you got your memorial racing and the other bits and pieces, your Charlie, Bernstein, all those sorts of things that all come up through the season. So yeah, North Island mini sprint champs in January. So there's a bit going on.
It's exciting, exciting coming up. I think it is interesting that I think there's a few tracks probably at the moment still waiting for, I suppose, everything to be finalised after next weekend with the AGM and the prize giving and stuff up there. I suppose that's another thing for you, Darren, that you guys are just sort of waiting to see to finalise because of that as well.
Yeah, definitely, because you don't know what's going to happen or change in between times. Plus, we've got our own AGM coming up as well, so you could have a few changes, what obviously can change the overall picture as well. So, yeah.
Oh, mate, good on you. You guys are doing a great bloody job there as well. You know, it's a team effort. Definitely not about an eye. It's a team effort that makes things work. And like you say, mate, you get a bit of grace. You get to rock on up there 3 days later than the 6 a.m. sometimes. Kick off at around 9, but she's a huge day, you know, and that's credit to yourself, the committee, to the volunteers. You know, all we always say on the show, Books and Eyes, when you see some of these people at any track, a simple thank you with a smile goes a long way because they give up their time to make sure these facilities operate well in a way that, you know, the spectators, like we say, trackside, backside, and backside, trackside. Mate, that's what it's about. You can't do without the volunteers, again, Darren?
No, definitely not. Like without having good people behind you, you can't put on a good show, you know. The work the committee do during the week, the work the volunteers do, like from your gate staff to your track man to your scrutineers to your lap scorers, everything's sort of got a sort of mesh together, I guess. And without those people, you can't do it. You can't do it by yourself. It's impossible. You need the help. And I try to thank as many people as I possibly can. Sometimes you forget, so I normally will try and flick a message out as well and see who's on board for the next meeting and thank them for the previous one.
Yeah. Right.
Because
thank you means a lot. Thank you means a lot to a lot of people, just like the people who are part of the sponsorship behind this track as well. And if you go to the Sporty website, you can see S&Z, Wanganui, all the details there as well. But go and support them, like we said right at the start, you know, Fast Lane Spears, and that's what it is in the Wellington Family Speedway, and everyone enjoys themselves. Darren, mate, we do thank you for joining us, looking like you're in the shed and a nice warm beanie and a jersey, keeping warm, mate.
She's a little bit fresh in Martin, so.
Oh, you're in Martin. Oh.
Yeah. So it's definitely cooled down a little bit. So yeah, but it's all part of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, well, look, we appreciate your time, taking some time out on your Wednesday to join us. So we'll let you go and get back and do what you need to do for the rest of your evening. No doubt we'll catch up again as it gets closer to promote some of the events coming up once the calendar gets released. But we look forward to catching up with you in person at the SNZ big night up there in Auckland, eh? Safe travels, mate, and thanks once again.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Darren.
Cheers.
There we go. Just like that.
Just got to stand up a bit.
You're right, mate. You're back playing up a little bit, eh?
Yep. So I'm going to stand for a bit.
You know, the recipe to fixing up your back, mate, is a bit of sunshine, and I recommend Fiji could be a good place, I'd say.
Oh.
Hey? Fiji
I was
sounds like
waiting
the
for
go.
that to happen.
Hey, Mr. Aaron, how are you, mate? Or should I say Bulavanaka?
Yeah, voila. Yeah, well, fresh back from a week in the sun, which you can only do in the off season, which is, one of those. It's just listening to you talking, Darren. It's we're the same. You got to find that little gap in the off season where everything's kind of happening, but you don't need to be there to be able to escape for a week or so.
Well, everyone, if you want to know the time, it's just gone 8 o'clock. You can see behind you, Darren. So there you go. Another half an hour of our show, having a bit of fun and talking to promoters on tracks, how the season's been, what's happening off season, and what some of the events you can be part of as well to go and support the track. Aaron, just quickly, mate, do you get a break? Like Darren said, not really. I suppose it's a strange question for someone who's a promoter of a track.
Yeah, so I actually track my time fairly well. I run the car dealership in Wellington and obviously this, and then I'm on the board at SNZ now as well. And the average during the season is about 30 hours a week plus Saturdays. And then off season, it dips down to between 5 and 15 hours a week. So it's a big commitment. And some weeks, you're talking days off work just to keep up with what needs to happen. And, I think it's both I'm never one to say that things are negative. I'd say it's an opportunity, is that our sport is growing. It's growing with competitor numbers. It's growing with fan base. It's attracting interest from overseas. And we're kind of at a bit of a weird transition between it being very grassroots, but also semi-professional. And due to that, trying to run venues with, as Darren said, an army of volunteers, including the people that run it, like committees and promoters and things. It's, I think we're doing a great job. Like, we're presenting something to the general public that they'll turn around and go, I never knew that someone wasn't literally paid to put this on. And you're like, if I got paid to do this, we wouldn't have a track. So, and guys like yourself, we talk about volunteers, but no one even mentions you guys that do this as well, that, and other media outlets that devote their time for the passion and love of the sport and the way that they do that helps promote us. And also big kudos to you guys for seeing your awards come through for SNZ for your media awards. So well done.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank
I'm rooting
you.
for you.
Oh, cool.
I'll say clearly here that with my board hat on, I have no sway on that.
Yes.
So
I'll pay that $50 back now, Kinsey.
Mate, well, geez, I'll tell you what, if you did sway it that way, I was going to bring you back an awesome sign I have on my shed. We could trade it for...
Like if I could and get my sign back, I'd be really happy. But it's not how we work. We're very transparent, and unfortunately, I get no say. So
yeah. Mate, I like the explanation how you talk about in regards to the time and commitment that promoters put into these tracks. And this is where a lot of people need to take note of. Like you say, the 25, 30, the 40, it's just about a full-time bloody gig, to be honest.
Yep.
But
and I think, like you say promoters, but there's a plethora of people who are doing that. Yeah. Like, we've got we'll call him our groundskeeper, Grant Peterson. He literally is up there every other day, right on mowers, doing all the handyman stuff, even in the off season. Like, stuff still needs maintaining. We've got 5 hectares of land that there's car parking, and we've got car parking for 4,000, 3,000 cars. That needs mowing all the time, and it doesn't happen by chance. It's a guy who goes out and sits on a ride-on mower for 4 or 5 hours a week, every week. And there's just so many people that are donating so much all the time. And one of the big things that when I started as president Wellington was we used to get a lot of feedback from club members and bits and pieces, which was negative. And your immediate thing is, I'm putting in all this time, like, you get your fists up about it. And you're like, well, actually, you talk to these people and you tell them what's going on behind the scenes. And they're like, oh, shit, I didn't know. I thought you guys were just sitting there, misreading my points and not doing it right on the website. And you're like, no, we're doing all this other stuff, but I'll fix that. No problem. Thanks for letting me know. And so I started doing a much like this, but a more one-directional live to our Facebook group for our club members, just every month going through what the committee was doing, what we were working on, any feedback, which was great feedback loop for making sure we had the club members engaged and we were doing what they wanted to do. And what we quickly learned was that armed with information, like our club's awesome. Like, we're in a great space. We get over 100 people to Working Bees. Like, we've just got the most awesome group of people that are putting up their hand. And I get emails that literally say, I do this as a business. Let me know if you need me. Like, they're just, Wellington's got an amazing group of people. And armed with the information of what was going on behind the scenes, all those, the negativity, I guess, stopped, and the positivity was just allowed to flourish, because people were like, oh, hey, awesome. Actually, my thing that's really important to me is still important and can be dealt with, but I understand the bigger picture of what's going on. And I think that's really important across all volunteer organisations, not specific to Speedway, that, when you're dealing with them, and I certainly know I personally, when I deal with other volunteer organisations, understand that concept now, that people aren't intentionally doing bad things. Like, as a grassroots of people who volunteer are doing it for good reasons.
Yeah.
And if people are doing things for good reasons, then if something's gone wrong, it wasn't because they intended it to. It's probably just because there was a gap in the net of volunteers, and hey, great, let's try and put it together.
Yeah, I like how you say they explain it, pretty in-depth, books, and then Aaron talks about the track and how it seems to be pretty well run, and the input from so many others, not just 100 of volunteers or the poor guy that mows the car park 4 to 5 hours a week, but just from everyone giving them an opportunity. Let's talk to us if they're business people or not. It sounds like it's going really well, books.
It does, mate. And I suppose that's it. The biggest thing is transparency, but across everything, when you do something like that as well, for a Speedway board and with your club and that. I mean, if you're transparent with your club members and your competitors, and they want to keep coming back and they want to keep racing and putting on events, and that just all stockpiles along, doesn't it? I mean, you have a happy club that's happy with their board, then the competitors are happy, then they put on a show, then the bums on seats come, and then they come through the gate, which then funds the track, which keeps it going, and it completes the circle. It's like, it's something that I think that's how it works, and it's great to hear. And we've heard that positivity from so many tracks this season. I think the season just gone's been really positive for a lot of tracks, and it's great that we're talking to these guys, yourselves, Aaron, and others that are telling us this, because as a public, we don't get to hear that good positive side as much as the negative side that goes out on the stupid Facebook, which we're on now, obviously. But it's good. I mean, like, how were your big events this season? I mean, your New Zealand stock car event, how'd that go? I mean, that was obviously very successful for you. And the best thing about that was, I could play my song, but a Hawke's Bay car did win it.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like, he well deserved it. Like, I'd be amiss to say that I wasn't very disappointed it wasn't a W on the step, but we did a great job that whole weekend. Just slipped through everywhere, and dude's an amazing dude too. Like, couldn't have gone to a nicer guy. So I can't say I was completely disappointed, but no, New Zealand stock cars, like, wow. I've been doing this a long time, and as far as volunteers and things go, we, to your point earlier, asking Daryn about timings, we started up there on Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. That was where, like, we had the core crew of sort of a dozen people starting to do things. We had 90 on-duty volunteers for 8 a.m. till 3 a.m. the first night, they sort of bled off after midnight, but 8 a.m. till 3 a.m. was sort of the time scale, and we were all back there just before 9 the next morning. And it was probably one of the coolest times I've ever had in Speedway running a track. Our core sort of crew that was running the subcommittee that was running the event, we all got into the office. We've had 4 hours sleep. It was brain damage, maneuvering, car parking, because we had the same issue as everyone else. 200 cars, everything's allocated, everything's this, that, who's coming, who's not. And you get in. We're sitting down, and Lexi Levine, who's actually taking over from me next year as president, she said, right, Jane, before we start, remember that the way that everyone sees us behave will be how they behave. Yeah. She said, so we might be tired. We had an awesome day yesterday, but we've got to deliver yesterday again today, but we've got to do it on 4 hours sleep. And everyone left that meeting, and I'll tell you what, didn't matter how many coffees you'd had, I had the smile on my face. Everyone was high-fiving like we'd had 48 hours sleep before that point. and it really did. It set the tone for the whole weekend, is that we had 2 spectacular days of every little thing was thought out. Every person played their part beautifully. And while we had some stuff outside of our control, like, protests and bits and pieces that happen on those meetings, delivered an amazing meeting. It was, we couldn't have been happier from our side on how it went, other than if a W was on the step, which that would have been the only thing I would
But when you put it in perspective to the last few seasons, look, you had the street stocks there. There was like 1 million street stocks. You had the stock cars last season, another 1 million there. You've got the super stocks coming up, mate. You guys have been spoiled for choice for 3 years in a row with some pretty epic big meetings.
Yeah, so last season we had the North Island street stocks, which Wellington, truth be told, to be 100% honest, 5-6 years ago, we actually put our street stock class on notice that if they didn't sort the numbers out and sort out their problems, that we would have got rid of them, which is, we have a process for that. And full credit to them. The team banded together, and now the street stock class at Wellington, our Pro Wash street stocks, it's one of the happiest places in my group chats. Cool. The guys are amazing. They're talking about before the meeting, putting on a show. They want to be a class that people want to come see, which is awesome. And they do. They put on an amazing show. It's one of the classes I didn't grow up following, but now I'll make a point of watching whenever I'm at the track for any given meeting. So North Islands was no different. We had a great array of cars and really good fields and some really good racing. North Island Saloons, we also had, which we ran into a rain out, which for people that aren't aware, generally a rain out costs a track about 10 grand on the day, just in wages and ambulance and all those stuff that you can't get back. And of course, running on a Sunday, you don't get the crowd that you usually would. But from a track perspective, or from a Wellington perspective, I can't speak on behalf of all tracks, but we always look at a national title and go, we've got drivers from all over the country that have come to Wellington. If it was a normal Wellington Champs, we'd just postpone it to another weekend. But, if you've got guys from South Island that have paid for a ferry, that's not fair on them if we postpone it and they're $1,000 each in the hole. So, if we have to take a loss, which it was, to do what's right by the sport, we will, and make sure we run the meeting within the time frame that doesn't put everybody out. So, New Zealand stock cars awesome. North Island street stock's good. North Island Saloons had a great field, great racing, great meeting, but obviously wasn't financially great given the rain. And not to mention, obviously, the start of the season where we had 6 rainouts within the field.
That's right.
Yeah. So we went to open on Labour weekend, and our first meeting, and we tried running every weekend after that, was the 23rd of the 11th. So it was 5 back-to-back rainouts to round out our 9 rainouts of the season out of a potential 14 meetings.
Holy. Mate, and you still remain positive.
We did still get 15 meetings in. We're just raining out and moving. So very tough season.
So just a question, like, how do you think it has helped the club with running that big New Zealand Championship, Stock Car Championship? Does that help you in a way where you think you can improve on things that went wrong for your next big one? Like your next one's a big New Zealand Modifieds. So I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is, how much have you learnt from running that big meeting last year to how is it going to help you this season coming for New Zealand Modifieds and New Zealand Superstocks?
So we've got a really good template from when we ran the New Zealand Stock Car teams, which built out a really good spreadsheet with everything you ever need to think about. It's hundreds of lines long with every question that you need to answer. And we started the basis for that. Obviously, New Zealand Stock Cars would be the biggest car volume meeting you'll ever run. And then built it out again. And then off the back of that, again, Lexi, VP, she turned that into a template. So that way, going forward, any other person, any other committee can actually we've got it on our shared drive, ready to go, copy and paste, and we're there to go. Of course, we've got the New Zealand Superstock champs this year. Yep. So that was back-to-back big ones, which has allowed us to do a lot of our big infrastructure upgrades. We've been sort of gearing up and running a bit closer to the wire than we ever usually would, knowing that both those meetings have good financial backing coming towards them. Mm-hmm. Those two meetings really for us, I mean, they only come around every 20 odd years. We've given them back to back, which is amazing. It's enabled us to follow out a 5-year plan of infrastructure upgrades to get to this point. And like, our facilities looking amazing. The work that everyone's done is incredible. And coming into this season, we're very minor things that need finishing, and we're going to hit New Zealand Superstocks ready to roll, New Zealand Modifieds, and we've got North Island Super Saloon. So we're completely blessed with titles.
Right, you got it all going on. You got a pretty intensive season once everyone gets out the Christmas festive side of things, because the weekend after that, going into the new year, is the big Modifieds. Could the 4 NZ of 5 Dub finally get one up on his brother Ethan, who's currently the 2 NZ? Could Keegan finally, how many times has he won? Well, been bloody 4 NZ. Look, could Keegan do it, mate? You reckon?
Look, I grew up with the Levines. Like, I'll just come clean as a conflict there. And Mr. 4, Keegan, incredible driver. But I could actually see an Ethan Keegan 1-2 NZ.
There's the call.
Got great gear. And both very, very capable drivers, very capable, know their way around Wellington like nothing else. And I'd love to see Keegan get off the 4th step and onto the podium, and I'd love to see Ethan go one more. So just for that purely, I'd put them in that order. Yep. But our Superstock class we put a lot of work into it over the last sort of 3 or 4 years to grow it and really push it ahead and grow our numbers. We're up into almost at 20 now, which is, if you had asked me that 4 years ago, I would have laughed. And in all the cars, we've got really good equipment. So it's going to be the year of banding together and making sure that hopefully we've got a 1997 New Zealand A-grades back then, but 97 is what I'm going for. Just
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, and I'm happy for second and third to have a runoff. Or I'm happy for all 3 to have a runoff if they want.
Well, I'm actually looking forward this season to the New Zealand Modifieds, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm actually more excited. For some reason, I'm more excited for that this season at your track than I am the New Zealand Superstock. So there you go.
I can posit a guess at that, and it's probably the same reason you'd be excited about North Island Super Saloons. Brian McPhee's been laying our track for the last sort of couple of years. He's a life member of the club from CNM Transport, and he came in and we found the right material. It took, completely honestly, it took probably a year to get it right, the right mix, and the track that we've been laying, I don't think I've ever had so many out of town drivers come up and say, best track I've raced on all season. We had the midgets come and specifically asked to come race with us. same feedback. I actually got hit up about 2 weeks ago by Sidecar Fraternity out of Palmerston saying, can we come race? We've heard from everyone that this is the surface to race on.
Wow.
And Brian Lay's an incredible surface. So, you can run 20, 30 modifieds across it for a whole night, or sprint cars, last season, and you still get to the last meeting, they're still pulling wheelies out of the corner and there's no black lines on the track. So I'm also in your camp that New Zealand modifieds is going to be incredible. And Wellington being quite a short, sort of tight track, it's always a great spectacle. Having all the mods out there, it feels like a lot of noise in a short space of time.
Well, I've been to the last 2 Arapiri Memorial races, last 2 seasons, and the modifieds, and that's the same night, of course, as your big $5,000 shootout. And even with the supers going round the track at the end of the night for the modifieds, I mean, the spectacle that Brad Lane put on last year in that final heat,
incredible,
was just out the gate amazing, and the speed. So for me, I just think the racing's going to be just outstanding at that New Zealand modified meeting. And I'm already trying to convince my good mate Maru Goodley, Mr. Legacy, we need to go to the 2-night meeting in Wellington for the New Zealand modified. So I think it's going to be outstanding. Just watching Brad Lane on that track is worth the admission by itself.
Yep. He's really got his car dialed in. He comes down and supports a lot of our modified meetings. We get really good support out of most of the local North Island tracks. We're working well with Stratford and Wanganui and sort of Hawke's Bay regularly. And so we get some great support from those clubs and you like Brad and that to come from further north. So frequently we're getting good fields, and Brad certainly knows his way around Wellington. I think he's probably won more titles at Wellington since I've been there than everyone else combined. So we might not let him come back for this one.
Well, he's definitely going to be the man to beat, but I'm guessing where you are down the bottom in the capital, I'm guessing the southern contingent, and of course young Luke, they'll make it across as well. So that's going to open it up with a few of them from down there as well. So you're in the right situation for that. 1997, man, that's when it was Tandem Speedway. I remember that because I got the bloody sign to prove that. So I might have to come back down there, and find me another sign. 1997.
You should bring that sign down, and we'll put it up next to the current one with the Valley Motors.
That's done. But I remember that bloody night, like Kim Lace, Ian King, and Darren Gray. That was a long night.
Yep, that was a great meeting.
Yeah,
I was only this tall at that stage. now I'm this tall.
Kinser's still, but you got to remember Kinser's old, but he's still that tall.
And you got the North Island Super Saloons and the transition from some of these superstock drivers jumping into the Super Saloons. They've been shown they've really developed into some real competitive drivers. That's going to be a huge event, mate. You guys have got a lot going on. Obviously, Brian McPhee, he's done like 1 million laps around that track. And then you got the McPhee family still associated with that as well. And Scott Honeybone, 971C for 1NZ. He's talking about, what's his name, Mr. Young Ward.
Jaden Ward.
Jaden Ward. And, he's won that, back-to-back big money event down there as well, eh?
He's won the Superstock Shootout back-to-back. Jaden's also one that is exceptionally quick around Wellington. Obviously, he's quick everywhere, but in particular, always the latest to scrutineering. As soon as I see him on the registration list, I put him on the late board before he's messaged. He always messages, like he's very good like that. But no, exceptionally fast. Fast. So I'd certainly be putting a couple of dollars each way on him for a title hopeful there.
Yeah, definitely be somewhere. Could be sitting on the podium. Bobby Johns, love the show, guys. Keeping us Kiwis on the Gold Coast up to date. I'm glad you brought that up, and congratulations to the top 3 drivers in the big Queensland race they had over there as well. And one of our good mates, too, Quasi.
He got on the podium,
3NZ, and I was having a bit of a chat with Quasi, and he was stoked. Yes, if he had finished first in one of the races, he would have been the big number one on the car, but he's happy to be out there and many of the other drivers. So well done. And we hopefully may catch up with some of the crew over there one day. Mate, obviously, Aaron, and we touched on it, the massive volume of volunteers. You've got sponsors behind the scenes, and no track coming down the country cannot do without the support of either.
No, not at all. And especially in current economic climate, it's we'll talk about bums on seats and sponsors that make the world go round, and both of those, both parties are struggling. The general consumer is looking at where their additional dollars go, and businesses are looking at what they need to be able to survive. So no, we've got an amazing contingent of sponsors at the track. Most of them have been with us for many, many, many years, and support all of our classes and the club very well. So yeah, it's a real privilege. I have people come to me looking for events to sponsor versus having to chase them. So we've, by all means, if you jump on our website, www.wellingtonspeedway.co.nz, along the bottom we've got all of our sponsors listed there, and as Daryn said, supporting them supports us. Make sure you mention not just our sponsors, but any Speedway sponsors. Make sure you mention that you've seen it there. I know, working in marketing, that even just at the silly level of a person mentioning that's happened, that helps to add value to the arrangement, and obviously ultimately that's what we need to be delivering to our sponsors. It's not just a gift, it's not a donation. We are working to make those sponsors businesses present in our communities.
100%, mate. You got plenty going on there. I see you got your AGM coming up next month as well, which is not that far away when you think about it. Tuesday's the 1st of July. Oh, you got a big night this Saturday, mate. Eh? You got your prize giving and the ball on.
Yeah. Yep. So this will be my last prize giving, last AGM as president. We always have a really big prize giving at Wellington. It's been something that we sort of pride ourselves on. We have a big ball. The girls go out and spend the whole day in the salon getting dresses, and every driver from every class suit, most of them are ties. It's swanky, and we have a fantastic night that goes on till the early mornings, and sometimes at a Levine household till the next day.
Don't drink that bloody Sheepy's homemade stuff. It's lethal.
He actually scrubs that well.
Oh, does he?
Does he?
Yep, he's on our committee, and very, very good rooster. Great for street stock class. And one of those just mucks in for everything. But he always comes dressed to the nines. It's one of those events. And then following Speedway New Zealand AGM, obviously the week following, and then a couple of weeks after that, that'll be the end of my tenure. It'll be over a decade on the committee and 5 years as president, and time to release into new blood. I believe it's important in leadership to have a tenure and do what you need to do, and we completed the 5-year plan sort of a little bit earlier than anticipated, but we completed it, and now it's time for me to hand over to someone else to start their 5-year plan, keep the club moving forward, build on what we've built, and make sure that everything that I did differently or our team did differently, it might need to be reinvented. It might not be right now. It might have been right for the time, and you need someone else to look at that with different eyes. So it's going to be interesting having 30 hours a week back again. It's going to be my partner Rachel. She's going to be like, "Oh, what are you doing here all the time again?" I'm looking.
Go back on the committee.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the end of an era.
Mate, you're right. It is the end of an era, and that's a long time being committed. Unless you express 30 years, and you won't know what to do with yourself, mate, to be honest. It's much a part of you, what you've been around as a young man, growing up around the sport, and especially in the big seat. And, mate, that's credit to you. It's a lot of time. Personally as well, it takes its toll, and you got to deal with the highs and the lows. But geez, I bet you the committee must be thinking, well, you've got to move on, do your next thing, and whatever that journey may be. And look, everyone appreciates the time you put into the place, you know?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I've still got another year on the board, so not disappearing completely, and just not being on the committee doesn't mean I'm not going to still be involved of some description. And obviously there to assist Lexi as she takes over and make sure that there's nice seamless transition as we build into the next phase and take it to the next level.
Unreal,
Awesome.
books.
Oh, well.
You know, it's great. It's like that good old Sean Fitzpatrick saying when he played rugby, it's credit where it's due, you know. And
Absolutely.
It is. It's an appreciation by everyone that's had some association with the track over the time that you've been there, mate. You know, they will not go unnoted because, like you said, you've said, like Daryn said as well, the hours that people put into the place for the passion, the love, and for people to get along trackside, you know. And, mate, last few years have been bloody good. You've got the modified champs, you've got the North Island Saloons, you've got the super stocks, and, mate, wow, you're going to end on a high. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a great season to be able to go and sit on the bank and go, man, this is cool.
You ever jumped behind the wheel just out of, curiosity?
Yeah. So I raced stock cars for a number of years when the Levine cars actually out of Wanganui. Ran the Vulcans for a bit. And I have a very famous saying around Wellington of have helmet, will race. I don't actually have a helmet. I borrow Keegan's. But I have overalls. And so last season got out in the production saloon, stock car and super stock, been out in the street stock a couple of times this season. Our Wellington crew is really cool. There's anyone that's ever got a spare driver is always like, here's the keys, go for gold. It's awesome. I love getting out there. I love spinning some dirt and it keeps the passion alive for the hours that you put in.
Oh, mate, look, we appreciate your time that you've joined us on the show, promoting the wonderful facility that you've been associated with. Obviously, we can note and feel your passion and your love. We look forward to catching up with you, mate, up there in Auckland and have a bit of a chat in person, and I'll bring that sign up and hand it back to you as a gift. And
I'll tell you what, you bring me the sign and I'll shout you a couple of beers, okay?
Done, mate, done.
I might even get you some of those good Wellington craft beers.
Oh, you're bloody twisting my arm, mate. You're driving a hard bloody bargain there. Look, we appreciate you joining us on the show as always. I still can't believe it. You know, you're going to hang the helmet up and you still look young, mate. That's what I'm saying. You know, you still like you got another 10 bloody years in you. But good on you. You know, people like yourself are very few and far, but I look forward to catching up.
I won't be disappearing, and I'm sure I'll be happy for a guest commentary every now and then.
You're on, mate. You're on. Take care, Aaron.
Okay.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks,
All
mate.
right.
See ya.
Wow. Couple of good roosters, as AJ Extons would say to us on the show. Good to catch it, Daryn and Aaron. Good to get that one right, eh? Sounds like I'm being a rap artist, a Daryn and an Aaron. It's got to put a beat to it. But no, this is what we appreciate on the show. We too for next week. Well, we've got a fair bit going on. We just have to keep an eye on our Facebook page, be updated what's happening there. And obviously, us two are going to be up there in Auckland on a Thursday evening and getting ready for the AGM and the awards AGM's Friday, the awards on the Saturday. So, yeah, good couple of guys to talk to, eh, Books?
It was, mate. It was very good. Yeah. Interesting information from both gentlemen. And, it's always great to talk to more of the tracks to see how their seasons went and what they've got coming up this season. And it's exciting, for both tracks, mate. So I'm looking forward to it. And as everyone else is, counting down the days, counting down the sleeps, getting ready for our new season. So, But what a great night. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in and joined us tonight. We can't thank you enough for joining us along for the ride again tonight. And watch our Facebook for next week. If we do something before the awards and stuff, we might. We'll see. We'll see anyway, because those people that we would normally have on will be heading up there, so they might be unavailable on that Wednesday. So stay tuned. But thanks again for joining us, Aikens.
Yeah, exactly. You know, everyone out there, enjoy yourself. 115 days from memory, what Wayne Oldham put on the show earlier. What have we got over there? Just looking at, you know, everyone's enjoying it. 11 dub. Remember that? Yeah, Scott Honeybone. Cheers, team. Thanks, Amanda McDonald. Thanks to everyone that put in the comments. Big shout outs going out to you. Enjoy the last weekend of the 6th month of 25. We'll catch you back hopefully in July. Otherwise, yeah, be safe. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you.
Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot now.